Good morning, Young Kings. Time for your more motivation. Decided to jump on today. It's been about 2 weeks since I did the last video. Been kind of being still, kind of slowed down a lot of external activities. Have not applied for a job in probably about 2 or 3 weeks. So as I said, I was just going to kind of dial it back some and start, being more in the receive mode than I am in execute mode, because I'm known for just sometimes just going all out, just staying busy, just doing a lot of stuff. And I used to have a saying when I was a company commander that all movement is not progress. Soldier used to say, I was doing this and I was doing that, but are you moving towards my commander's intent? So all movement is not progress. So it's about how you're moving. Are you moving with intention? Are you moving with my intent? So just because you're doing a lot of stuff don't mean that you're making a lot of progress. So it's one thing for me to understand that as a leader, but it's a whole nother thing for me to understand that as a follower and as a follower of the Most High. So a lot of my movement wasn't leading me to progress. So I had to kind of refine what I'm doing in this still moment and just trying to analyze what the next step is and get my official next orders. There's an acronym for busy. For those who don't know, I spent a small stint of my educational journey in seminary. And while I was going through seminary, they was teaching us about being intentional with our lives and how we go about interacting with this physical world, and not to get bogged down with just doing things. And they used the acronym BUSY, BUSY. And it says sometimes you can be busy doing a lot of things, but accomplishing nothing. So the acronym for busy was being under Satan's yoke. Busy, being under Satan's yoke. Sometimes we get just in the ahead of ourselves, and we just want to move. We want to move and shakers. We want to be one of some of the movers and shakers up and coming, and we think abundance of activities, abundance of effort is going to get us there. But really, what's for you is for you, and that's where I'm having to relearn and relearn over and over again. What's for me is for me. What's predestined that I have will be there when it's time for me to get there. So you can't rush to greatness. There is no get rich quick scheme when you're taking this journey of authentic living in life. Now, if you want to be in your adaptive self, then yes, you can try to shortcut the process. And I've noticed, and I've been on YouTube a few times, and some of the main YouTube people that I used to watch are starting to be exposed for just not being authentic to what they're communicating on their various different YouTube page. So be careful, even with myself. Don't just take what I say and run with it. Check the source, then check in if it's not lining up with where you're going in life. There's the sayings, chew the meat and spit out the bone, spit it out. So never elevate people to a status as though they're better than you, or though they got it together, because after these cameras get cut off, there's still a reality out there that needs to be lived. And being authentic is trying to have one of each of them match, not have it one way on social media and then another way in your personal life. So just make sure that where you're getting your information from is accurate, that the information is accurate and is applicable to what you're going through in life. The reason I jumped on today is getting towards the end of the year. And one, I wanted to conclude the trust the process journey that we've been on, and thank those who have been on here for rocking with me this last year. It's been a roller coaster ride throughout the year, but at the same time, it's been a fruitful year. So don't just take any particular part of your year and say, yes, the whole year was bad. There was some bad shit that happened. I'm going to work on the cussing. There was some bad stuff that happened in the year, but there's also some great things that happen as well. And life is a roller coaster. It's going to be up and down. Don't expect to be up all the time. And if you're down, just know that there's a season for you to be up again. So it'll teach you to appreciate when you are up. So it's been up and down. We started off with the Operation Lion King, and that was kind of the umbrella that covered the whole thing. And if you missed that, all the videos are uploaded. You can go back and check that out. And we went through various different journeys along the way, all the way to bring me to this point here. From a lot of action in the beginning to kind of slowing it down to just being still. And there's seasons for each of that. I'm not against massive action or abundance of effort, because there are seasons when you are in the grind of things and you have to push through to get through. But then there's also a season where you're going to have to be patient and start understanding like everything doesn't happen overnight like that. There are some things. There's an old warrant officer saying, I had this warrant officer that taught me the saying. He says, whenever you're going through something in life, you can pick two of the three. There's cheap, fast, good. You can pick two, but you can't have all three. So cheap, fast, or good. So if it's cheap and it's fast, then it won't be any good. If it's good and it's fast, then it won't be cheap. So cheap, fast, good. Pick any two, but you can't have all three. And you got to figure out, if you want it fast, then it won't be cheap and it may not be good. So you gotta pick which one you want to sacrifice. If you want it fast and you want it cheap, then it won't be good. But if you want it fast and you want it good, then it won't be, you're gonna have to spend some money on that. So just go through that. And when you do your deductive analysis, if this is for you, apply that cheap, fast, good, and understand which element are you sacrificing, and is it worth that sacrifice. And if it's not, then it's time for you to push the pause button and not be in a rush, because if you want something bad, that's exactly how you'll get it bad. So just be careful of that. I'll give you a quick story. I know I shared it before. When I was a private, just stationed down at Fort Stewart, and I was in the market for a car, and I had a 4-day pass so I could be able to come home. That was coming up in the next two or 3 days. So I wanted the car, but I wanted it fast. So I went to the car lot and seen the car I wanted. They said I didn't have a credit for, but they showed me this other car, this Isuzu I-Mark. And the car wasn't visually appealing, it wasn't that, but it was something that was fast and it was fairly cheap compared to the other cars that I was looking at. But the thing about it wasn't any good. That car broke down on me on the way to getting home, and then it broke down again on the way back. So you're gonna have to pay. You just got to choose if you want to pay in the front end or the back end. I was in the market for a printer, and I'm going to go back and look at a printer here shortly. But as I was talking with the guy in Best Buy, there's a lot of printers out there, and they're started as cheap as $130, and they can go on up to the $1,000 mark, if not more. And when I was telling him what I needed out of the printer, he says, do you want to pay now or do you want to pay later? Because if you want to pay now, then you're going to have to spend a little more on your printer. But if you want to pay later, then you're going to buy one of these cheaper printers, and you're going to be spending more money on ink. So he showed me to a printer that was about a middle grade. It was just under $600. But he says on this printer, yes, you're going to spend a little more money up front, but you probably won't need ink for about a year and a half. You can go choose to buy one of those printers over there, and you're going to need ink probably next month. So you're going to be spending your money in monthly increments, as opposed to just go ahead and get it out the way and spending your money up front. So sometimes you got to do that cost analysis. Anyway, that's kind of a long intro, probably 10 minutes. And as I reform and kind of drop in the ball where we're going to go in the next year, but as I go ahead and improve and evolve in my YouTube, I am going to get these videos down, starting to cut them down some bit and spice them up in the next year. I'm not sure how short they're going to be. I'm going to try to, no, I can't do that. I was going to say I was trying to get it down within the length of your attention span, but those will probably be 35, minute videos. So anyways, I'll shorten them up a little and maybe cut them up and decide how I want to proceed forward. But the main reason I jumped on today, I was in the process of updating my computer, And as I was updating my computer, it's been taking a long time to do it. And as it was taking a long time to do it, my spirit was starting to show me the parallels between what I'm doing with my computer and then the same thing that's happening in my life. I've had my desktop computer, and I had it updated, but it's kind of been neglected. In the Army, I get a work computer. So a lot of times, if I need to jump on the computer, I have my work laptop that I just jump on, and I do that. And it's probably been years since I had my personal computer hooked up. Although when I had it hooked up, I got it updated and things of that nature. So transitioning out of the Army, I figured I'm going to turn my work computer in. Let me figure out if my desktop computer is any good. Now, eventually, I'm going to go get another laptop, obviously. But I wanted to see if my computer was still functional for everyday activities, basic computing, internet surfing, and stuff of that nature, and research. And as I logged on the computer, it was moving like very slow. And the one thing about modern technology, it has eliminated our ability to be patient. Like when you click on something, you want it there, you want it to be lightning speed and stuff of that nature. So it was moving real slow. So I was like, man, I need a new computer. So I went to the store, started pricing them out and stuff of that nature. And I seen some of the specs on the computers that they were selling now are still some of the specs I have on my computer here. So it's like, it's not the specifications of, what my computer is able to do, because it's not moving as fast as some of these computers that have the same specifications or even lower. So I decided to go ahead and try to, because my computer hasn't been hooked up to the internet. So I said, go give me a Cat5 cable, and I'll hook it up and do all the things to get it updated. Then I can make a true assessment on things. And that's what brought me to this video, because when I hooked it up to the internet, updated my Windows 10. I know Windows 11's out, so I'm not sure if I'm going to upgrade to that one in the near future. But there were several updates that my computer needed, and I started going through, because I was going to take my computer in to a shop and have them updated. But the one thing I have learned by having my government computer is that when something goes wrong, I have to call the help desk. And calling the help desk, they sit down and they help me troubleshoot my computer and say, hey, go to your software center, click here for upgrades. You want to check for this and that. So I decided, if I've been going through that process with my work computer several times over the last few years, become familiar. So before I call the help desk, I start checking my software center, see if there's updates. So I said, let me do that with my computer. So I went and checked for the software updates, and man, it just was abundance of them since I had been offline. So I started to update my computer. And I realized like that process of updating my computer is kind of the same process that brought me into Trust This Process series. My portion of updating this computer was understanding that there was an update out there, and then I had to go get it downloaded to my computer. So I clicked search for updates, and it gave me a whole list of updates that needed to be done. And then I put install now or update now. And that was it. My job now is sitting here waiting for that process to happen. So during this process, and this is my second day of doing this, you hit download. There's a lot of downloads that come down on the computer of new updates for the Windows or for malware and stuff to remove malware and to clean your computer. And there was also a refresh button to bring it back to its original settings. What that does is reset from anything that may be slowing your computer down. It's going to take it off. So I did that, and downloads started to happen on my computer. And it says, don't turn off your computer. This may take a while. And I realized like this trust the process thing I pressed the download, and the rest is taking a while. So it started downloading various different things on my computer, and then it said download complete. So I'm thinking, okay, my computer is ready to go. But no, there's another step in there. It has to upload what was downloaded. So now the computer is restarting, and it comes back and it gives you the percentage. And sometimes it'll stay at 0 for a while and then go to 1%. Then it'll jump up to 3 and then 5. And then it just kind of takes a while. And some percentages, it's like from 1 to 3, may be a half hour or so. And then from 3 to 10, it like about 30 seconds. And like, so some updates took a little longer than others. So get them downloaded, and then the computer reset, as I stated. And now it has to upload all those things that were downloaded. So once again, I clicked the computer and sitting here waiting for it to go. Right now, it looks like it's at 63%. But I started this process again probably around about 2 hours ago. And 2 hours got it to 64% right now. But so it's still going through and it's searching my computer and it's applying the various different updates and stuff of that nature. So kind of the same thing with trusting this process, when kind of back where I was telling you about all movement is not progress, and sometimes busy is being under Satan's yoke. Like I realized, and I was talking to my girlfriend the other day about, like, had I taken my computer to the shop, they would have charged me by the hour to update my computer, and all they would have did is click that button for it to be an update. And now they're off doing these other things, charging other people by the hour to hit a button to update. And I'm not minimizing the IT field. One of my best friend Eric works in there, and he goes deep down in the computer beyond this simple diagnostics that I'm doing here. But the essence, like, I would have to pay a lot of money for people to do exactly what I was able to do. There's a saying out there: "It's all you can do is all you can do." But your job in that is to ensure that's all you can do. And sometimes we stop way short of all we can do because it's simpler to go ask somebody else that question, to go have somebody else do that, and instead of going through and figuring out all that we can do. So all you can do is all you can do, but your job is to make sure that that's all you can do. And there were some steps that I could have done a long time ago to this computer that I was tempted to go take it to a shop because I didn't want to be bothered with it. I didn't want to have I didn't have the patience to sit and wait for it. So sometimes being still and being patient, it could be a truly blessing for you. So when it went through the first series of updates, my computer started working seamlessly. I mean, it was just moving, getting on YouTube, and I was trying to see, just the internet speed as well as the video quality and stuff of that nature. Typed in a few different websites and stuff of that nature, and it was working good. And I was like, okay, the computer is back functioning. But then this morning it came in and said it needed some more updates, so I had to go through that whole process again. And I don't think it was in vain. I know it's not in vain. So sometimes when you get delayed and it feels like you're standing still, maybe you did what you're supposed to do and you hit that button. Now the Most High has to download some things in you. And then after your download is complete, then there's some things that needs to be uploaded and uprooted in order for you to work at your optimal capability. And how's that a parallel in my life? It's like, one, I've been telling you to trust the process and that I'm going to be still. And during this process of doing that, I can't work on this computer. Like, it does a little circle and it's spinning and it tells you the percentages, but there's nothing else I can do until that is complete. And a part of me wants to speed this process up and saying it should be faster. I got high-speed internet and it should be doing this, but it's going to take as long as it needs to take in order for this computer to get back functioning right. Now, obviously, this computer is going to need to be upgraded again in the future, but it doesn't need to be updated right now for the simple basic computing. Now it's at 85%. So just in that little time that I've been talking to you, it jumped up 20%, whereas before it was 2 hours, to get to where it was. So understanding that, like, what you're engaging in life, maybe, and you don't see the results that you had thought that you should be seeing at this time. Maybe they're still being downloaded. Maybe they are completely downloaded, but now it's time to upload things. So don't be in a rush when you don't get your immediate gratification. Delayed gratification, learning that is essential to a productive and happy life. And a lot of people are not strong in applying delayed gratification, including myself. It's like delayed gratification is knowing that you want this item. And that is one of the things that you know that you want. So delayed gratification will say, okay, that item over there is $1,500. Okay, I'm going to save $300 for the next 5 months, and then I'm going to go buy that. That's delayed gratification. Instant gratification is like, oh, okay, I got a credit card with a $2,000 credit limit. Let me go buy that now, and then I'll try to pay it back over the next 5 months. However, what you don't realize when you do that, you have just shortcut yourself through the process. So when you go buy that on the credit card, now the likelihood of you paying that back over the next 5 months is pretty slim, because that $300 that you were going to save and be intentional with, it's probably going to go to other things. You'll start paying the minimal payments on that thing. And then over the course of the long haul, that item that cost you $1,500 is now more like $6,000, because you've been paying $20 a month and they hit you over the head with this interest. And I'm not beating you up, because I'm guilty of this. And this is where I'm going to evolve with myself, is that delayed gratification, the art of patiently waiting until I'm really ready to do what I need to do. So be mindful of that. Delayed gratification is definitely the way that you need to proceed in life, because that instant gratification, although everything that feels good to you is not good for you, and everything that feels bad to you is not bad for you. So once you start understanding that, you can proceed through life a lot more healthily. Be careful that you don't rush into things because your inability to be patient. The other thing that I wanted to communicate in regards to this computer upload is that I realized, like, there is malware on my computer and viruses that were there. There were red flags and here and there. And those red flags, you don't just go pick up a red flag. You may go visit a site, and that site has cookies, and those cookies are things that are put things on your computer so it remembers where you've been at. And that's how, when you click on a website or something, or you go to a Google site, these things that you have searched for before, like items like that, start popping up. That's because cookies, and it starts sending advertisements based off your search patterns and stuff of that nature. So be careful, not only on your computer, the places that you visit, but more in the physical. Because when you come in contact with people, sometimes their spirit could put a virus or cookies in you, and it's starting to slow you down. Like, those viruses were preventing my computer from operating at its optimal speed. And there's some people that you may be in contact with that's preventing you from operating at your optimum speed. So you realize, like, hey, I'm not progressing through these things as seamless as I should be. I mean, I'm gifted, I'm talented, I'm working hard, and I got all the hardware that's needed to get me where I am, but I just can't get there. And that may be because you got viruses connected to you. You may have to go in and get those viruses uninstalled and removed and eradicated before you start moving a little faster. So once it went through and it removed those things from my computer was able to benefit from the hardware that was installed in there. So sometimes once you start removing people from your life and you start going through the process of, eradicating the negativity and stuff in your life, you'll start seeing your life start progressing forward. And it's key that you do that. So bottom line, trust the process is going to be concluded. Where I'm going to go in this upcoming year as I bring this video to a conclusion, reforming my reality. And I know that's going to kind of be the umbrella, like reform to improve, to enhance my reality. You know, some people come up with New Year's resolution and they want to do something new, but we were created in the most high image. So we have the hardware to accomplish everything that the Most High intended us to accomplish. So it ain't about doing something new. It's about reforming and improving what you're already doing. So for some people, it may be they need to do something different because they're backslidden and they're off track. But for a lot of us, we just need a gradual improvement. So I'm going to start reforming in my finances, my faith, just overall of how I live and interact in this natural world. So, and I started basically with my finances over the last month and a half. I spent thousands of dollars on food and just drinking and various different things. And maybe when I do the reform of my finances, I'll show you some of my bad habits. And it wasn't bad to an extent, like it was like out of control. Well, yeah, financially it was out of control. But it would be like $40 here, $20 there, $80 here. And you do those over the course of a month and you start adding that up and you're like, man, I spent, $1,200 eating out and I spent another $600-700 on food, so I spent $200,000 on something that I don't have any tangible asset for. Now, yeah, of course you got to eat, but not at the level that I was doing. So what I started doing is when I tell myself no, not to go to the bar, not to go sit at happy hour and just go home, I pay myself that $25-30. I take it out of my checking and I just put it in my savings. So I'm rewarding myself for being disciplined. And that's just one of the tricks that I'm doing to reform my finances and stuff of that nature. So reforming my reality is going to be the next series. I'm not sure if I'm going to jump on again between now and the end of the year. But if not, I want to say happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year for those who've been rocking with me. If you really rock with me this year, hit a like. I mean, y'all been selfish on a like. That's what y'all to reform that in the upcoming year. At least like a video. They don't even charge you for that. Do they charge you for that? I don't charge you for that. Go and hit a like a video. Be well, young kings.